another kind of bug.
Okay.
To know more about movies. And I thought maybe it should be very fun to have a career inside that industry.
Okay. Okay. So then, were you doing that? You were just doing that for fun? Were you getting paid much money to write those reviews? Probably not.
Well, no, just for fun. I was a student.
Yeah.
I was kind of volunteering.
Yeah.
For writing the review of those movies.
Right.
There was some competition, but anyway, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that went on the resume, and you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
이력서에 써가지고,
Exactly.
and then you went to the movies, and how did you end up getting started?
Well, actually, I really wanted to go to film industry.
Right.
But, I'm not sure if it's the same situation in America or some other country. But in Korea, to become a person who's in the movie industry, there's some sort of barrier. I mean, it's really hard to get into in the first place.
Yeah.
Once you get in there, so you never fall out.
Yeah.
Almost.
Right.
But, the penetrating into that industry is something very hard.
It's a lot about connections. Huh?
Yeah, that's
Who
right.
you know,
that's right?
Yeah.
Usually, making a movie or a production company doesn't require a lot of people.
Right.
So whenever you have some person, to work together in that production company,
right.
Usually you actually pick the person you know.
Right. Someone you've already worked with before, somebody you know.
Exactly.
You can trust them. So how did you get your foot in the door, as they say? Your foot in the door means 어려운 시작. 어떻게 처음에 어렵게
발을 들여놨는지.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. How did you get your foot in the door?
Well, after I graduated my university, Japanese language literature majoring, I decided I just tried some of those production companies and didn't work.
Right.
So I decided to be around that industry. So I became one of the employees of one of the online computer game company called the CCR.
Okay.
Who was serving this Fortress 2
the
game, and working for the company for about a year in international sales department or something like that.
Okay.
I've been applying myself to the production companies and distribution companies in film industry constantly. And there's one day. I was drinking together with my friend. I was talking about my ambition, my eagerness to get into that industry.
Yeah.
It was actually female. She actually, told me to send some letters or emails to the people who's actually making decision for those employment in the company. All right.
So did she tell you who they were? Or?
No. She doesn't actually have any connection to the industry. She's just one of those, my friends.
Just a friend.
From my town.
Okay.
So I was drunk at night. I turned on the computer.
That night?
Yeah, that night.
You went home and...
Exactly. I turned on the computer and looked up some internet sites.
Right.
Like back then it was Tube Entertainment, CG Entertainment, Cinema Service. There was the three biggest and strongest, movie making companies.
Okay.
And it was actually only Cinema Service who actually had a contact point email address on site.
Who did?
Cinema Service.
Cinema Service.
Yes, that's the company.
Okay, and that company had emails right there.
Exactly. Emails and, those people in international business sector and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I, wrote emails to everybody.
Yeah. Everybody there.
Yeah, everybody there. So saying I'm Louis Kim and I'm working for some online computer game company and I'm doing some international works and I would like to do the same kind of international work for film industry.
Yeah.
I know that I may not good enough, but I can, be better. So if you teach me those kind of elements that I need, then I'm going to try very hard to fill them up. That was actually the essence of the letter, as long as I remember.
The essence of the letter. How do you say that in Korean? Essence.
핵심.
핵심이었어요. That was the essence of the letter.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So how was their reaction? Did you get some success with that?
I heard back.
You're kidding.
Not.
Wow.
Yeah.
And random emails.
The random emails. I mean, the head person.
While you were a little drunk.
Yeah, I was really drunk. Not little. I was really drunk. So it was actually a week. It was actually a week later that I heard back from this, person who's in charge of those international marketing department for this, one of the biggest filmmaking company called Cinema Service. Back then, it was almost a studio.
Really?
Yeah.
And what did they say? I mean, they said, okay, come on and meet me? Or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay, come for an interview.
That's right. But actually, they didn't actually have any kind of place they can put me in.
Yeah.
So, they actually told me usual things.
Yeah.
So right now, we don't actually need any person at this moment.
Right.
So later on,
right.
if we have any TO, then we're going to call you up, or we're going to put up some, notifications.
What's a TO?
I don't actually know.
So
in Korea,
for a
position?
job position
job
of some
position.
sort?
Job position.
They call that a TO?
In Korea, yes. Sometimes they call it that way. I don't actually know
what it stands for.
What it stands for.
That's okay. You don't have to know.
Position is better.
Okay. So, I find that interesting because I also run a business. I make a magazine for foreigners in Korea.
Oh, nice.
And it's an English magazine, and I have the same situation because sometimes I don't have a position, but somebody will really, really want to work with the magazine. So I'll say, okay, if you want to kind of, wait around and see what happens. And then sometimes people, they're like, okay, and they keep sending emails and they keep trying to get in, and those people will very often, they're the most passionate people.
Yeah. Maybe.
Right? Just like you. So you were obviously very passionate about the job.
And plus that, because when I was writing the letter, I was really drunk. Maybe I was possessed at the moment.
Right. And so what happened then after that? You went in for an interview. They said, we don't have a job, but maybe later.
Yeah, that was the reaction that I got initially.
Right.
Instead of, keep sending the email, I actually keep visiting them.
Yeah.
Whenever I walking by that building, I just, pop into their office and say hi. And got very friendly with everybody working in that office. Later on, they finally got this job position to fill up, and automatically it was me.
Because you knew people in there.
Exactly. They all know
knew
me.
that you were gonna keep going in and be responsible and do your job. So very impressive. Very impressive. You didn't make it with connections. You made it by just keeping at it.
Yeah, creating the connection is the first step, then you do it.
Okay. Wow. Now, you've done some pretty amazing movies. In fact, I believe you were part producer on one of the most top-grossing Korean films of all time.
Oh, Grammar.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. The Host, that was the most popular Korean movie of all time.
The same thing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well, so I'm the main producer. I'm not the main producer. I'm one of the producers.
Okay.
Of that movie, Grammar, The Host. And I'm the producer who took care of all the